अर्ज किया है जनाब. Formula 1 track is where we met at first. But that wasn't quite enough for me and Kim to quench our thirst. आगरा, जैसलमेर, पुणे, दार्जिलिंग, कहाँ नहीं घूमे. हवा से बातें करती हुई गाड़ियों में काफी हैं झूमे. I mean, we got our hands behind many set of wheels. Some of the owners were mean, but of that let's not make a big deal. Now me and Kim have been mostly traveling on our own. But for this one final lap, we had to be in the same zone. तो चलो भाइयों और बहनों, बहुत हुई शेरो शायरी, अब वक्त है to put on your adventure mode. Because this is me saying slightly differently. Welcome to Two for the Road.
When you've traveled all over the country, ridden all kinds of vehicles, gone planned and sometimes even unplanned, but on the whole not hesitated to be adventurous, it becomes kind of difficult to figure out what would be a good ending to this fantastic journey.
3 months ago when we started out, Delhi seemed like a great place to start. The setting of the F1 track was perfect as the ultimate destination for any auto buff. But when it came to figuring out where to end our journey, now that needed some thought.
It had to be a place with character of its own.
Befitting a finale.
Historical.
Yet modern in its own way.
Romantic.
Yet adventurous.
Had to have enough wheels for Kim and me to ride.
Yeah, and enough things to see and do. No wonder we chose Kolkata.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Captain Varun Mitra speaking. Please tighten your seatbelts as we're heading to the Hindustan Motors factory in Kolkata. And I'm driving a very sexy, suave Pajero Sport.
Going to the Hind Motors plant in Uttar Pada in the Hooghly district of West Bengal, the ambassador waits me. But right now I'm happy driving the Pajero Sport because I'm just getting warmed up.
This is a 4-wheel drive, and the unique part is it has 3 4-wheel drive options. So if you look right here, this is basically your regular 2-wheel drive option which you use in the city for a city like this. This is your regular 4-wheel drive option which you use basically on wet roads, so you get better traction. The last one, for LLC, is when you need like that tractor-like pulling power so that you can get out of any kind of terrain.
Launched about a year ago, the Pajero Sport is being produced in the CK Birla Hindustan Motors plant in Chennai and is looking at capturing 20% of the Indian market in the SUV segment. The Pajero Sport has a nose that looks like it's been grafted on from the Pajero Evo Rally, but the rest of the body is very sophisticated. The interiors are basic but very suited to its style. The Pajero also has a better third row.
Ki khabor, kemu nacho. Once you get into Calcutta, the first thing you're going to wonder is, how am I going to get around? Well, the City of Joy should also be known as a city of transport. Yellow ambis, buses, hand-drawn and cycle rickshaws, the underground metro, not to mention the oldest and the only tram network in India. Can't believe the service dates back to 1873. I'm going to ride into history. Bhaiya, wait for me.
A driver's cabin in front, 2 bogies at the back, and running on electricity with tracks laid throughout the city, it's a cheap way to get around provided you're not in a hurry. And ordinary days turn into something like a picnic when you're in one of these. It's spacious, comfortable, and a great way to see the city, especially since it allows you to get on and off wherever you like. The first successful tram system was a meter-gauge horse-drawn tram track, laid from Shielda to Armenian Ghat via Beaubazar Street, Dalhousie Square and Strand Road in 1880. and the first electric tram car in Asia ran from Esplanade to Khidrpur in the year 1902. Today, there are about 170 trams that are running on the streets of Kolkata. The flip side. The tram system has not kept up with changing times. Like a relic, it's stuck in time while other modern means of transportation come up all around it. And meandering past these buildings of yore in old Kolkata, I was heading straight into the gene pool of every Bengali's claim to supremacy in the field of art, literature and music. I was in Robindra Shoruni, better known for lanes where the house of Rabindranath Tagore, the Jado Shakur Thakur Badi, stands. In these parts of Kolkata, of Chitpur's narrow lanes, I was suddenly met with an urge to go a distance in the rickshaw. But I couldn't decide how. It wasn't sitting well with me to sit in one of them.
Love the spokes on these wheels. Wooden and sturdy. There's a little bit of rubber, some iron. Again, more wood around it. It looks like it's lasted a century. तो कितने लोग बैठ सकते हैं उसके ऊपर? सिर्फ 2 आदमी बैठ सकते हैं. और अगर बारिश होगा तो ये भी है. करेक्ट? ये धूप के लिए है या बारिश?
बारिश और धूप
दोनों. Could be waterproof too. अच्छा, मैं चला सकती हूँ? हाँ, मैं लेफ्ट में जा रही हूँ. आप बताइए. There's a lot of firsts on two for the road, and this is another first for me. I'm technically a cycle rickshaw wali puller. That's right. I don't know if Baba's having fun, but I sure am.
The physical feat of the rickshaw puller is seldom rewarded except for the few rupees that they earn every day. After trying my hand at it, I was positively humbled and absolutely exhausted.
Maza aa gaya?
After that strenuous workout pulling that rickshaw, I was in the mood for a feast. So I quickly made my way to the K.C. Das Esplanade branch, where the great-grandson of K.C. Das was waiting for me with his legacy of sweets and those mighty Roshogullos. I've never been so overwhelmed with the variety of sweets K.C. Das had to offer. They were even made out of chocolate. Yum!
I just came from Guru Dev's house and I said the next place I needed to come to is right here.
It's a sweet spot of Bengal, you can say.
And I've got a big sweet tooth.
Deeman told me about how his great-grandfather Nobin Chandra Das thought ahead of his time in 1868 when he made the world-famous Roshogullas. Nobin Chandra Das borrowed the recipe of the Roshogulla and modified it. As a result of his modification, the Roshogulla became a lot spongier than it originally was and remained non-perishable for quite some time.
He invited all other sweet makers and he, taught them the recipe and how to make it. And that's why he thought his creation would, spread this way. Because in absence of proper publicity and advertisement in those days, it was very difficult to popularize the sweet.
And since then, K.C. Das has come a long way, with several outlets across India and celebrities like Sachin Tendulkar and Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee visiting their shop.
Could we make a low-fat Rasgulla?
We have made it. We have made it in Bangalore, but we haven't launched it in Calcutta as yet because it's slightly high-priced. And Calcutta market is too sensitive and we are not that health conscious in Calcutta.
Yeah, if you're going to have dessert,
rolls and we love biryanis.
Enjoy it.
And now there's a surprise for you. This has been sent by Varun from Panna to be gifted to you.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. And you
It's my
gifted
pleasure.
it to me. And
It's my pleasure.
you.